In the hollow where the shadows fall, we gather round, we hear the call. Liquid fire from the mountain's hand burns like truth, but it tastes like sand. Oh, it sure feels right at the end of the day. Drink it up, let the story stay. The creek laughs low, the fire cracks loud. We lose ourselves in a moonlit crowd. The air so thick it hums and sings, a slow dance wrapped in unseen strings, clear as glass, but it bites like a snake,
Like the night.
sharp and cold, every breath we take. Oh, the stars know our sins tonight. Set that burn till the world spins right. The creek laughs low, the fire cracks loud. We lose ourselves
We lose
in the
ourselves.
moonlit crowd.
I like this song, alright? Morning, Krista. Sorry, Amy.
The mountain whispers secrets deep, the kind you tell.
Hello. Tis I. The song has ended. Okay. G'day. How are we all? Righto. Well, there's been some developments. No, it's not funny. Sorry. It's not funny at all, actually. Brandy and I are sitting backstage having a chat, and her phone rings. And she had to go. It was Ty. There's shit going down apparently. So she's going to ring me when she's sorted it out, and either come back later today or tomorrow. So we'll sort it. But there is a heap of shit that we can go through with the case. Yes, no, it's not good. Her phone rang and she answered it while she was sitting, chatting to me, and Tyre is screaming. Yeah, it's not good. Not good. Yeah, I can't say any more than that, sorry. But yeah, it's not good. A bit concerned actually, but never mind. Well, I'll just focus on the positive. Okay, so I spent a few hours last night actually doing some more research, as I do, because I have got fuck all else to do, really. So I'm going to see if this actually works, because what I had planned for the stream obviously is it's not going to happen, which is absolutely fine because her safety is far fucking more important. If I can share this. And I have to apologise so badly for yesterday. I'm going to have a do-over because it was the shittest stream that I have ever done in my life, and the lead up to it, was absolutely just, and it didn't get any better. So I sort of was left scrambling, unfortunately, and my brain doesn't cope with that, not even for a second. So I apologise. And we've actually, Ted and I did research last night, and we got some good shit. Tan's going down a rabbit hole. She's following the money. Okay. So she's following, because there are different stories. Oh, there's different stories all the way through this, but as far as Helen Harvey goes, there is differing values on her estate net worth. Now, they were both Martin and Helen, their finances were covered by state trustees, which is like a governing body that advocates for them. All about the Benjamins. What? Oh, who's Benjamin? Yeah. So the way the media has explained it is that he inherited about $697,000 from her estate, which included, cash at hand and the properties, but it didn't include the stocks she actually had in tax. So they were an income share, apparently, and that wasn't ever disclosed. And all of the rest of the records are obviously sealed, or for privacy reasons we can't access them, not even with a FOIA. So Chan's going to do a bit of digging in that money, Jody. So what's Benjamin? Oh, Benjamin Franklin. Oh, the money. Okay, I'm with you. Righto. So it's actually been asserted that there could be upward like 28 million. So, which would then jackpot the motive for someone to take advantage of a literal child, pretty much. So, do I do this? Do I swing this to a Martin stream? I may as well. What do you reckon? I'll change the title later, but yeah, I think we might fling it to a Martin stream. Let me change this. Hey, hello. How you doing? Okay. So, where is my little history here? I was looking to try and contact one of the nurses at the Hobart Hospital, because I remembered that in the Mercury newspaper, one of them had actually given their names. So I did a search up and I found her. And then I started looking into trying to find his hospital records. Turn this one off. On what? You need to speech more. Use your words. I don't know what. Be more specific. Turn this one off. What's one? Oh, the stream. I'll just change it. I'll change the thumbnail and I'll change the title. By the end of it, it'll be fine. So yes, I did a bit of a deep dive last night and I found a few things. Now, the goal or the aim that I was hoping for to go for was to appeal on the fact that his fundamental rights were not met at all, and that's the legal process basically with regards to the right to a trial, right to a fair trial, right to effective service of counsel and a right to face your accuser and the rest of it. But there's more to it than that. Because his IQ is 66, he's actually deemed as disabled. It's a disability. It's an intellectual disability. So he's then covered under the Disability Act of Tasmania, which has its own sets of criteria that they have to meet, a whole different set of rights. So he is supposed to have been allocated a guardian, and he is supposed to have had a representative with him at all interrogations or questionings or whatever. He's supposed to have been allowed additional time to have it explained to him. And if he didn't understand it, it is to be presented in a way that, or until he does understand it. There was a whole heap of, let me see if I can see them, whole list of stuff, and every one of them, they breached that as well. And then, where did I say it? Because I was going through Social Security ones. What's that? What's that? Don't say that. You did that. I remember doing that. Looky here. That one. Jodie, you should have named these when you saved them properly. Outline for section. Oh, okay, that's that. So I started off looking at his psychological evaluations. The first one he had done in 1984 when he was 16 or 17 with Dr. Cunningham Dax. That's the guy from the UK. And he was very, very well renowned. I think he only passed away in 2016, but was known for groundbreaking advances in psychiatry. But as I said yesterday, he was also linked with the Tavistock Industries and MK Ultra, which had some, not shady, but not as mainstream, that's the right word, as the norm. So they did apparently a lot of kind of mind control, but more in a routine fashion, like, so it became second nature almost. And they also can go all the way up apparently to do like CIA sniper sleepers, whatever you call them. And I actually ignored this when I first heard it because I'm like, whatever, no such thing. Just ridiculous, and didn't even bother. And then it surfaced elsewhere, and I'm like, and it surfaced with someone that is a complete world away and who had actually been and done it, had been there. And they actually they recruit children. They recruit like very skilled children, very educated children, like gifted children, basically. And then they train them up through their protocols. But they give them this drink, and it's supposed to affect their memory. And the person that I'm talking to as a child remembers it all because they quenched the drink and never drank it. So, yeah. And that was her childhood. So what truth is there in regards to Martin Bryant? Your guess is as good as mine, because Cunningham Dax is dead. So his report basically said that there was no schizophrenia. Where is it? Okay. There is not the full original report from him. It's not publicly available, but you can get excerpts from it. So what was in there? So it was done, yes, when he was 16. It was done in February 1984, and it was mainly so that he could be assessed to get onto the disability pension over here. And that needed to be diagnosed by a psychiatrist. So he basically says, Dr. Cunningham Dax helped establish the community mental health awareness services in Tasmania. He established the mental health research unit and was recognised as a leading figure in the Australian psychiatry. He died in 2008. My apologies. His professional standing made this assessment particularly significant for the Bryant family's understanding of Martin's disabilities. But Carleen took the explanation from Dr. Dax as a diagnosis and treated it as such, and it wasn't what she thought. So her statement after him assessing Martin was that it didn't take him long to see that Martin had a problem, and Martin was not able to concentrate on what Dr. Dax was saying and interrupted him to talk about the age of the house and the fireplace in the room. After a few more consultations, Dr. Dax said Martin would be unemployable as he would upset and annoy people to the extent that he would always be in trouble. He would have to be put on a disability pension. So that's pretty much what happened. So she sort of took that as almost like he had schizophrenia and, oh, here it is. Cannot read or write. So this is Dr. Cunningham Dax, his assessment and case notes. Cannot read or write. That puts a bit of see in the picture. Where is my picture that I saved last night? And I know I saved it because Tanya saw me do it. Come on. Oh. I hate searching for shit. Oh, not that one. Come on. Stupid computer. The fuck did I save it? Oh, it was a video. Really? Oh. Oh. Thank you. Right. There we go. Now I have to add it. Hang on. Move that. There. Video. I do that. Oh, come on, make my life easy for once. Just do it. Martin. Thank you. Thank you.
Confession, and they went, right, that's it. Case closed. We don't need to examine the event anymore. We don't need to speak to witnesses. Locked him up.
Can't read or write. That's pretty darn neat. Look at that handwriting.
convicted by his own confession, and they went, right, that's it. Case
Oh,
closed.
right,
We
wait,
don't need to examine the event anymore. We don't need to speak to witnesses. Locked him up.
Why? Okay, so cannot read or write, does a bit of gardening and watches TV. Only his parents' efforts. It's only that his parents' efforts that prevent further deterioration. It could be schizophrenia, and parents face a bleak future with him. So it wasn't actually diagnosed as schizophrenia. And that hit pretty hard with both Carleen and Maurice. And Maurice ended up becoming his carer pretty much, which wasn't particularly appealing to, a young 17-year-old lad, obviously. But he did have a very close relationship with his dad. So he was functionally illiterate. So as far as this confession and map goes, righto, good luck with that. And it was the gardening that basically brought him and Helen together. Now, the differences when Paul Mullins did his assessment of Martin in 1996 for a whole 3.5 hours, pretty much agreed with everything that Dr. Dax has said, but the only thing they differed from, where is it? Okay, so they both agreed that there was a formal recognition of intellectual disability, and he had a full government acknowledgement through the disability pension. He would be permanently unemployable, and there was a need for lifelong parental supervision, and that prognosis would deteriorate without constant care. Okay, they both agreed on the IQ, and okay, the only difference was that Paul Mullen added. What changed was the addition of documented violent ideation, weapon obsessions, and escalating dangerous behaviour. Pulled that out of his vending machine, didn't he? But there was also a bit of a system letdown as well, because there was nothing ever generated to address his needs either, any supports, any follow-ups, He definitely had an intellectual disability and a personality disorder, and I think they later, like there was one done a few years ago that says Asperger's. So I haven't seen that report. I've heard of it, but I haven't found it as yet. It's just funny that, those three things that make Martin look like a violent person, an aggressive person, a rage-filled person, didn't exist prior to that. So, just saying. So then I went down another rabbit hole and I went from there to try and find his hospital records. Now, where did I put that? Oh. Nope. 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 But yeah, you know what I've done. Let me see this. Oh, let me look at the folders first. Nope. No. All right, I'm just going to go to the latest one, because I think I did a few different searches. Oh, I know where I saved it. Up here for thinking, Jody. Down there for drinking. There. Ah. There we go. Okay, so we go back to the seascape, and what am I doing? I'm looking for the document that I saved and I spoke to you about last night. So he was arrested and he had third-degree burns to his back. So he also was admitted to the Hobart Hospital, but obviously he was segregated from all the victims who were there as well. And the hospital actually suffered quite a lot of backlash from treating him. They apparently had graffiti, they had all sorts of death threats, they had people coming in and abusing staff for treating him, just horrible stuff. And the actual nurse, what's her name, Emma? Anyway, so he was brought in and taken to the burns unit. Now, he was secured by, he was kept in handcuffs 24 hours a day. The prison officers had checked his handcuffs during every shift change. When relief staff arrived, they pulled back Brian's sheets to check his handcuffs. Yeah, you can imagine what that was going on. There would be no privacy. There would be nothing. Bryant had the no liberty, including bathroom access. So he was made to defecate on a sheet, which was then removed and replaced with another. Complete immobilization in his bed. His hair was was apparently all singed and burnt. He was severely burnt. Body was covered with a netted bandage that was commonly used, and the room stunk of burnt skin. And yeah, it was third-degree burns from seascape fire. So there was one particular police guard, Phil Pike. I think he was actually the one that was in charge of organising the shift workers and looking after, making sure that the scene was secure. And he is quoted as saying that it was very, very hard, difficult and extremely personally difficult to guard him and look after him, especially having worked at the massacre scene. Now, I get that. I do. But what happened to innocent until proven guilty? What about humanity? So he then went on to say, I made up my mind to protect the prison officers and the nursing staff, but not Bryant. If anyone came through the door with firearms, they could have him. Now, that is fucked. So they not only have broken his constitutional rights as far as like the legal process, they have broken his rights under disability and his human rights, basic human rights. He does not deserve to be treated like that. That's worse than an animal. It's ridiculous. Now, this dickhead went on to say that during his guard duty, Bryant fixed him with a stare that I described as pure evil. Pike responded, big tough guy, tapping his fingers on his holster and saying, if you get out of those handcuffs, Martin, this will be for you, because I fight back, unlike your victims. After this, Bryant no longer held eye contact with Mr. Pike. really. Yeah. Yeah. So now he was illegally held in solitary confinement for nearly 7 months, and that included his hospital stay. Allowed no media access at all, be it radio, television, or print. He was kept in total ignorance for over 2 months of the fact that he was being held responsible for the Port Arthur massacre. And his visits from his mum and his girlfriend Petra were conducted under closely supervised and severely constrained visits. Here's the bit that what's to say that another one. So his hospital stay was 29th of April until the 5th of May. 6 to 7 days. They did. Yes, they did. 100%. He was hung, drawn, and quartered from the beginning. And he had 3rd-degree burns. Now, I looked up what the average hospital stay for someone with 3rd-degree burns would be. Guess what? I wonder, is it more than 6 days? Fucking kidding me? So, for small 3rd-degree burns, the minimum stay is generally 21 days. If you've had skin grafting, it's more. The risk of infection peaks at the 2nd week mark, between week 2 and week 4, and he was there in prison for that time. They transferred him to prison where he would not have got even a tenth of the care that he needed. It's 70 to 85% shorter than the average person, and he had less than a third of the minimum healing time. He was transferred during a high-risk period, so they've put his life at risk with no care. None. None. And the stay in hospital, they actually had bomb threats. They had plots of people coming in. They had multi-layered security, and that's what I was looking for, the security one. It must be on the one before that. I'll go back to it. But he was actually legally in custody with the Justice Department, not the police. His burns were actually described as severe, and there was a heap of public outrage at the hospital that the hospital actually used resources on him. They really suffered. So this suggests that the non-medical factors, meaning the security, the custody, the political pressure and stuff, likely overrode the standard burn care protocols, raising serious questions about the adequacy of his medical care, about the decision-making at the time of transfer, whether it was appropriate, and the standard of care for basically prisoner and patients. So I'll just go back one because I know that wait until you hear the security. There's graffiti on there. Oh, Kim McGowan. Kim McGowan is the emergency nurse that I'm going to try and contact. But they had graffiti on the wall saying an eye for an eye, burn, Bryant, burn. It was all like a lynch mob mentality. So that's the type of pressure that the police were under to have a conviction, basically. one source stated that who could doubt that Bryant would have been lynched at any time had the opportunity presented itself. So, all right, emotional toll on nursing staff. So, after changing Bryant's bandages, he said in a childlike, to a nurse that looked after him, in a childlike voice, "Thank you for looking after me and treating me so kindly." And that nurse fled the room in tears because she felt guilty for showing compassion to this spree killer. Yeah. So, where is it? He was in the burn unit and he was in the furthest bed away from the door at the Royal Hobart Hospital. He was segregated from all the survivors. Where is it? Come on. There's a whole list of them. I'm going blind. Okay, please. All right. So, the security system, the guard system, okay? Hospital security, assisted by police, they staffed the locked entry doors. So they sat at the door to the burns unit. Prison officers sat at the entrance to his room. Multiple police officers were assigned to guard duties. At one point, there was Phil Pike, that guarding officer, 3 other police officers, 2 prison officers, several security guards, and he was handcuffed to the bed at all times. When 2 members from the prosecution section, when he was initially brought in, he was escorted by heavily armed special ops officers to the hospital. You know that when I was nursing, that was called a physical restraint, and you actually had to get permission from family if the person needed to be physically restrained to do so. And there was also what's called chemical restraint. Chemical restraint means that you medicate them to the point where they can no longer behave that way. And you also need permission from the next of kin or family to be able to do so. I have looked after patients that I looked after one guy in the intensive care unit that had come in because he had drunk bleach after allegedly stabbing his wife. So he was in ICU because he basically burnt his entire gastrointestinal tract. So he was on a ventilator and unconscious. Now, they had 2 police officers at the end of the bed for every 24/7. And they were there in case he woke up and said something, which could be used as evidence. And anything that we actually documented in his history was basically viable if he had communicated to us in any particular way, we would have had to have, been suspended. He didn't end up surviving, but there was always 2 police, and he wasn't handcuffed. Mind you, he was unconscious. So now there was a few convenient coincidences that day. So the hospital itself finalised their new emergency disaster plan 2 days before the massacre. In fact, the final draft of it landed on the doctor's specialist in emergency medicine just before the event. So the hospital held an early management of severe trauma workshops on that weekend, attended by 25 of Australia's top specialists from the Royal Australasian College of Surgeons. That workshop concluded at 1 p.m. What time did the massacre start? Anyone? No? Just. Started at 1:10. The workshop could, so that meant that it made highly skilled personnel were immediately available. The ambulance headquarters in Hobart held a training seminar for 18 volunteers that same weekend. And there was also reporters in the area, in Hobart as well. So now, whilst he was in there, he was Inspector John Warren attempted to interview him that very first night, but he was sedated, so that he went back the next day. And Martin actually claimed at the time that he didn't know anything and that he'd been a long way away from Port Arthur. He said, "I've been unjustly accused." He declined a video interview, and he was then formally arrested for the murder of Kate Elizabeth Scott, which I believe was one of the victims. So that was separate. I'm not sure why I didn't get any further than that. Now, they also went through a discussion with Graham Collier. Graham Collier was a victim who had been shot in the neck by the shooter and basically laid on the floor of the cafe and pretended to be dead whilst the shooter stepped over him. And so he had a good look at him. And he was on the same floor as Bryant in the hospital. And when his witness statement was taken, because he was one of the ones that said it was not him. Absolutely wasn't him. Now, why would a victim shot in the neck, what would he have to gain from saying that? Oh dear. It's not again. Un momento, per favore. See, this is the problems that I face doing it during the day. Just talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in a second. Oh, Lord. I'll put this on. Hang on.
In the hollow where the shadows fall, we gather round, we hear the call. Liquid fire from the mountains head burns like truth, but it tastes like sand. Oh, it sure feels right at the end of the day. Drink it up, let the story stay. The creek laughs low, the fire cracks loud. We lose ourselves in a moon. air so thick it hums and sings. A slow dance wrapped in unseen strings. Clear as glass, but it bites like a snake. Sharp and cold, every breath we take. Oh, the stars know our sins tonight. Set that burn till the world spins right. The creek laughs low, the fire cracks loud. We lose ourselves in a moonlit crowd. Mountain whispers secrets deep, the kind you tell, the kind you keep. Ashes rise like ghosts in flight, fading fast into the night. Oh, it sure feels right at the end of the day. Drink it up, let the story stay. The creek laughs slow, the fire cracks loud. We lose ourselves in a moonlit crowd. In the hollow where the shadows fall, we gather.
Oh, sorry. All right, I've got 5 minutes. I actually have to take this one. It's my it's the disability service provider, who covers the what little funding I actually do get. And she's early, but that's okay. Yeah, so I actually do need to see this one. Christ almighty. Doesn't rain, it pours. Anyway, that's probably as much as I could give you anyway with what I did last night. So what I'll do, Brandy is going to message me. So I thought that was her then. So you'll just have to look for the thumbnail, darling. Yeah, correct. Yes. Well, how often do I get freaking visitors? And I had 1, 2, 3, 5 yesterday. 5. And a man on the roof. I never get visitors except for Tanya. Yeah. What can I say? Well, at least that was probably more information than I actually got out yesterday. I can't do fly by the seat of my pants. I have to be organised. I just can't do it. So, yes, I will just put your notification bells on. That's all I can do. And it will be what it is. It'll be what it'll be. Shit happens, as they say. Does that count you as what? No. No, because you're not annoying. Did you wipe that stuff off your chin? Oh my Lord. All right, my darlings. Again, I apologise, but yeah, what can you do? safety comes first, as far as I'm concerned. And it is what it is. Let's hope that everything is okay. All right, my darling. Lovely to see you. Yes, best laid plans. You know, what can I say? Yep. All right. I'll be seeing you when I'm looking at you. Thanks for joining us again. And hasta la vista, bitches.